Grow food as much as you can, as often as you can, and as long as you can. You know, tomatoes are easily one of the most popular crops that are grown by home gardeners every single year. But along with that, they also can be one of the most frustrating crops because one week your plants may look healthy and the next the leaves could be curling, flowers could be dropping, fruits could be cracking, or maybe the entire plant suddenly stops growing. And honestly, most tomato problems happen because we miss a few simple but extremely important things. But once you understand how tomatoes actually grow, they can become one of the most rewarding crops that you can plant. So in this video, we're going to cover the best tomato varieties for home gardeners, how to grow healthier plants, how to get bigger harvests in common tomato problems, and the simple techniques that can completely change your results. So get ready because a few small adjustments can make a massive difference in how your tomato plants perform overall. One of the biggest mistakes we can make actually happens before we even plant our tomatoes in the ground, and that's choosing the wrong variety for their space, climate, or goals. Now, not all tomatoes grow the same way. Some will stay compact and manageable, like the tiny Tim. Others can grow very aggressively all season long and completely take over a garden bed, like the brandywine. There are so many wonderful reasons to grow tomatoes. I would love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment below and share why you want to grow tomatoes. Now, because once we figure out why we want to grow tomatoes, it becomes much easier to narrow things down into the right category that best meets our needs. For an example, maybe you want large, flavorful tomatoes for slicing into sandwiches or serving fresh with meals. If that's your goal, then you'll want to look into the beefsteak category. Some popular examples would be your brandywine or your beef master. Maybe your goal is making homemade sauces or for canning. In that case, you'll want to focus on paste tomatoes. Some well-known varieties in that category would be Roma or San Marzano. Or perhaps you want tomatoes for salads or for healthy snacking right off the vine. Then cherry tomatoes may be the perfect fit for you. Varieties like Sun Gold or Sweet 100s are excellent choices for that category. Another great category is globe tomatoes, which are versatile, all-purpose slicing tomatoes. Very popular examples would be Celebrity or Early Girl. So once you understand why you want to grow tomatoes, you can choose the category that best fits your goals. Then from there, you can narrow it down even further by choosing a variety that works well for your very specific climate and growing conditions. And when you match the right tomato variety to both your goals and your climate, you dramatically increase your chance of having a healthy, productive, and successful tomato harvest. If you are enjoying this information and finding it helpful, please take a quick moment and hit the like button. It really helps support the channel and allows this video to reach and help a lot more gardeners. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. A lot of people ask, what is the very best tomato to grow? But the truth is, there is no one single best tomato for everyone. For example, I live in Central Florida, so I deal with lots of intense heat, high humidity, heavy disease pressure, and a very specific growing season. So what grows amazing for me may completely fail where you live. Even within my own state, it's divided into 3 sections: North, Central, and South. So the tomato that grows best for me in Central will not be the same tomato that grows best in North Florida or South Florida, because even within my own state, the growing climates differ depending on what region you're from. So like we talked before, first you need to figure out why you want to grow tomatoes. Do you want them for slicing, for sandwiches, cherry tomatoes for snacking and salads, paste tomatoes for canning and sauces? Once you know your goal, then you can start looking for varieties that actually perform well in your very specific area. In doing so, you have to consider your climate, your region, your heat, humidity, rainfall, disease pressure, soil type, sunlight, and even the length of your growing season. For an example, here in Florida, if I plant tomatoes too late in the season, the plants may still grow huge and look healthy and even get flowers on them. But once nighttime temperatures consistently stay above anywhere from 72 to 75 degrees at night, the pollen can become very sterile and those flowers most likely will not set fruit. So timing matters just as much as the variety. That's why when someone says this is the best tomato to grow, that's not always accurate information. The better question is, what's the best tomato for you where you live and how you need to grow them in your specific climate? Because success in gardening is heavily dependent upon your local growing conditions. And matter of fact, that applies to every crop you grow, not just tomatoes. If you would like help choosing a good tomato variety for your area, just leave me a comment below and tell me what type of tomato you would like to grow. For example, do you want them to be cherry tomatoes, slicing tomatoes? Do you want to make tomato paste, tomato sauces? Tell me why you want to grow the tomato, and I will try to point you in the right direction. Now, let's go over determinate and indeterminate tomatoes, because understanding the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomatoes is the key to managing your garden space and having the right amount of tomatoes for the needs of yourself and your family. The main difference lies in how they grow. Determinate tomatoes are bush-type plants that ripen usually all at once, while indeterminate tomatoes are vining plants that produce fruit continuously, usually into frost. So, determinate tomatoes, they're bush-type. Think of these as determined to grow only so large, and that's it. They have a pre-programmed genetic size, generally topping out somewhere around 3 to 4 feet. As far as their growth, they're bushy and compact. They stop growing once they set fruit. Harvesting produces most of their fruit at once, which is called a flush, over a short period of time, usually 2 to 3 weeks. And they are best for containers, small gardens, canning, or making large batches of salsa or tomato sauce at once, because you want tomatoes that come in all at once to have enough tomatoes for canning. As far as the maintenance, little to no pruning needed. They typically only need a standard cage for support. Examples of determinate tomatoes are Roma, Celebrity, Rutgers, and Homestead. Now let's talk about indeterminate tomatoes. These are your vining types. These are vines that will keep growing and producing usually until cold weather like frost, when it will kill them. Their growth habit is vining, often reaching 6 to 10 feet tall or more. So you see they're very sprawling continuously. Harvesting is a slow and steady supply of fruit throughout the entire season, from anywhere early summer until frost, which the frost will kill the plants. And they're best for fresh eating, slicing, snacking, or large gardens, because you'll have more room and space for the vines. As far as the maintenance, they're going to need significant support because they're tall and heavy, usually some kind of trellis of some sort or some kind of very heavy weighted cages. Now, regular pruning of the suckers will help to maintain the plant health and to have more fruit. So examples of the indeterminate would be brandywine, sun gold, beefsteak, and sweet million. Growing tomatoes is very rewarding. However, along the way, we all run into some problems. So let's go over some of the most common mistakes that home gardeners could make, and let's try to avoid them for a better harvest. First, let's talk about planting and soil mistakes. Planting your tomato plants too early. Tomatoes hate cold soil, so planting before the ground is warm, above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, leads to stunted plants or even death of your tomato plant. Planting them too shallow. Only covering just the roots is a mistake. Tomatoes should be planted deep, so burying a half to 2/3 of the stem to encourage a massive root system is great. Not giving them enough space. Crowding your tomato plants leads to poor air circulation, which causes diseases like blight. So give them at least 2 to 3 feet of space. Planting your tomatoes in the same spot every year. This builds up soil-borne diseases, so rotate your crops and never plant your tomato plants where peppers or your Irish potatoes were planted last year. Let's move on to watering and feeding mistakes. Inconsistent watering. So watering every day for a minute is not good. Instead, water deeply every 3 to 4 days to encourage deep roots, because erratic watering causes cracked fruit and blossom end rot. That's that black rotten spot on the bottom of your tomato. Overhead watering. Spraying your leaves with the water hose or overhead sprinkler is a huge no, because it will promote fungal diseases. Always water your plants at the base of the plant. Using the wrong fertilizer. Using a fertilizer that's high in nitrogen is not good. That's the first number on the NPK. The N stands for nitrogen. If you do that, it's going to give you lots of green, bushy leaves, but very few tomatoes. So use a fertilizer that's lower in nitrogen but higher in phosphorus and potassium once your flowers do appear. All right, moving on to maintenance mistakes. Not supporting your tomato plants early enough. If you wait until the plant is falling over to put in a cage, that means you're going to break something along the way. So take time to stake or cage your tomato plants immediately after you plant them, because the growth will get out of control very fast. Ignoring pruning, that's your suckers for indeterminate varieties. So if you do not remove your suckers, that's the little branches that grow in the V shape between the main stem and the side branches. If you do not remove those suckers, it makes your plant too bushy and it will reduce your fruit size. Also, not using mulch. Leaving your soil bare causes it to dry out faster and splashes dirt on your leaves, which can cause different types of diseases. So use a good mulch. A quick tomato tip to remember is the best way to avoid these issues is to check your tomato plants at least twice a week for pests, disease, or signs of water stress.